I hope that you are doing well, just like me. And we would like to welcome you to this talk that is organized under Ar.Tan, that is under School of Housing Planning of University Science Malaysia. And this lecture series will be done virtually and will be the first for 2020. So thank you for joining us. I have received statistics. There is more than 200 participants joining us, and that includes other participants from other. Well, we are so happy that you are joining us today. And before we proceed further, I would like to tell you a bit about the schedule. We will start the schedule of introduction, and we will have two speakers sharing their advices and tips. This will follow after that towards the end of this part. Okay, so this program is actually created for students to be more productive, proactive, and also despite the situation that we are in right now. And I feel that this coronavirus has impacted a lot of people, and that includes us as graduating students. So I feel I kind of understand now. And I know that some of you might feel depressed and also facing unnecessary pressure due to availability in the market. And I can't deny that is our reality. But with reality, we also have opportunities. So where to find them? This talk will emphasize on the tips and also potentials for our future as a students. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dayana Aripin, and I'm from 5th year, and I will be your online MC for today. Okay, for this talk, we will have panels. I believe that you have received in the emails, the two star architects will be the first can be you, with the tips on how to get hired during this pandemic season. While the second one, I believe that you have seen the posters in the email, and it Adrianta Aziz, and he will be sharing a lot of advices, and it will be exciting. Without further ado, the architect Tanbiu, or also known as Beta founder, she has a total of 16 years of architectural experience, a diversified portfolio. Before this, she began her practice in Singapore, and later she came back to Malaysia. She has worked with Veritas, and I believe that some of you have heard or seen her works that has won gold in PAM Award for 2019 which is under Alteration and Addition category for the infamous Spinning Digital Library. Welcome, Architect Tanbiu.
Thank you, Dayana. You can hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Very well said.
Okay, thank you.
Is this your first time, Dayana?
Yes.
This doesn't look like it. I think you're natural.
That's a very compliment, though.
That's an additional career option for you there,
yeah?
Yeah. Hi everyone. I think we have most of our USM students sign up today, and we have also allowed for external students to join us as well. And we are very privileged here to have Architect Adrianta with us today. So I'm just going to make it quick. I'm as a host lecturer. I'll just do a really quick run through of I call 20 tips, hot tips. We are now at the time where you guys are thinking of what's next. So let me just show you what I've collected here. Now, now that you finish a studio, these are going to be sweet memories of your hard work. Your model making days. Dayana, your memories of, I don't know if you have this kind of scenario, work through HBP, hantu balik pagi. I hope you all will leave USM with, sweet memories of architecture life, So, as we all know, most universities now are finishing the semester, and I decided that we want to help our graduates, our Part 1 graduates, our masters. We want them to, kind of prepare what's next out there. So rather than just thinking of what to do, how to celebrate graduation, we put up this sharing. So what's next for most of you? I have 16 years of industry practice before I started teaching. And, you know, Dayana, I had my share of interviews. And when I was with a developer firm for 8 years, I had my share of interviewing candidates. You know, I was the head of design department. So what I collected here today is just a bit of random tips, 20 odd tips from me. Okay, other coaches, other, you know, skill coaches may be telling you otherwise, but this is my personal collection. So I think, so today, you know, the new normal, you could be having, looking for a job from the comforts of your home, or you have to go up there to do calls. So I'm going to go specific on, you know, how to get that job that you want. Okay. So far so good. Diana, you can see my screen, right? Very
Yes,
clear?
I can see. Very
Okay,
clear.
good. So now on my 20 tips, you know, I plan for before the interview, during the interview, and post interview, because my topic now is literally getting, you know, that job. So this is conservation. Rule number 1 is always do self-branding, because, you know, you don't jump into all the preparation without thinking this first. Number 1, very important, is how do you want to brand yourself? You know, how do you want to portray your unique identity? So branding, you know, is objective. What your objective is to, you know, get the job at the firm that you want. Then how do you want to advertise? How do you want to get attention? And then how do you want to sell your skills, right? And then with the right identity, and what's your product? You know, your product is your portfolio, which is what I'm going to talk about now. So we are the next hot tip. We are now like number 2. So number 1 is branding. Number 2 is everyone knows this. You sit down, start to prepare your CV. Now I use the word design because, you know, we are all architecture students, we're design background. So you got to be a bit different, you know, brand your CV. And templates are great, easy to do. Just Google resume templates. You have hundreds of examples out there. You start to look something like this. But what happens is when you have a large firm, HR managers will receive hundreds of resumes that probably look the same, more or less the same, because, you know, you guys are all using, there will be coincidence that both of you will be using the same template without knowing. So during my days of interviewing and filtering resume, so many that I feel is starting to look the same. You know, before my time, there's no such thing as template, not so readily available. But right now, it's getting too common. You can even Google best creative resume. But I feel you need to push for more. You need to wow them. So if I may dare challenge you, you know, my dear students of USM, you want to stand out from the crowd. So that means, you know, we ain't going to use any template. Design your own. You know, design your own resume, make it stand out. Because you must know that when you send CV, before they decide to download your CV, it appears in thumbnail. So make sure in that small thumbnail is already grabbing attention. You really want to wow them at this step number 2. Okay. Now, some of you may remember reading about this. 2016. This is Lucas. So he's from Lithuania, and he decided to go job hunting in San Francisco. So he decided that it's going to be super competitive for him. You know, a foreigner looking for a job in San Francisco, he's looking for a job in an ad agency. So he decided that, you know, most of the resumes end up thrown away. So he cleverly inserted his resume in a box of donuts and he delivered it. And he made the trouble to print a T-shirt, to, you know, kind of like go under the cover as a delivery boy and deliver all those donuts. And, you know, it's such a big surprise to all those who have received them. And he immediately got calls for interview. So this is really something that I want to tell all of you, that in very competitive times like now, you guys are not just competing with a lot of jobs from other universities, but also from universities of graduates who return from overseas universities. Okay, so and the job market out there are not that exciting as what we hope to be. So I thought this is few things that you really need to kind of like get it together. Okay, so number 3 will be design portfolio. After you've done your CV, so design portfolio is very natural for architectural student. I'm just going to touch on 3 things, sequence. Now, very common practice, very common thinking is you want to present your portfolio. Portfolio is a book, yeah? You want to present your portfolio starting from year 1, your first year in the program, and then how you end your final year. Now, what happens is my personal experience, both sides, I have made some mistakes in the past where, I go to big firms and then I start showing year 1 works. And then I have to painfully explain that, when I was in year 1, I wasn't very good at this and all that. And then until one day I had this remark made, one of the CEOs said, listen, if you want to impress, you should start with your best work first, So from that point onwards, I only show my best work that I'm very proud of, and I wouldn't have to say, oh, sorry, miss, don't look at this page, this few page, I wasn't very good. I was still very lost, that. So you have the power to decide what you want to show first, okay? And then at the same time, you want to show how you grow. So you start off with your favorite works, the most passionate works, okay? This is naturally your school studio works. And after that, you taper off to your junior years, your first year, second year, towards the end. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what will be wonderful about this sequence is you get the interviewers' attention. You start to get them excited, and they start to see, wow. You don't want to start off with okay, and then start to flip, looking for more things towards the end. Okay. Now, then after portfolio on the sequence, I want to talk about graphic design. Now, we're architecture student. Graphic design is literally your second most important weapon. Okay, you get to control your color, your typography, your composition. So your portfolio is literally you putting you out there. Okay, because when you're doing portfolio these days, students go for issue or online, literally, or put in on LinkedIn. So when you don't have the chance to speak for yourself, your portfolio speaks for you. So it is really, really important. I can't say, emphasize any more importance on this. Portfolio is literally your selling weapon. And, these are examples of how you can, really push the boundary. So simple 6 rules. I'm not going to read everyone here. And when you're doing the portfolio, be conscious. These are 6 elements that is very important. So once you've already collected your portfolio, if you are called for a physical interview, now we are slowly moving back to the new normal. I'm sure there are physical interviews taking place. So you will be expected to bring your portfolio. So now portfolio branding, packaging is very detailed. If you are going for firms that put a lot of priority on design, then you will be expected to be appraised on your design skill. Of course, if you are looking for other positions like project manager, then it goes beyond saying lah. Then the portfolio is not important. But then we are all architecture students, so branding is really, really the key. Okay, it puts the interviewer. He can see how careful you are, how good your taste is, and your eye for details. All this will be shown in how you pack your portfolio, all right? And you'll be surprised that all this, it will start to really put down the impression within that 5 seconds impression. So never underestimate how you present your portfolio, all right? Now, then number 4, once portfolio is done, once CV is done, then you have to get on the cover letter. You just can't just simply send an email with 1 or 2 sentences and attach your portfolio and expect a reply. All right. Now, this is corporate firms. If you're aiming for international firms, if you're in Penang looking for big firm opportunities in KL, then you have to get your act right. So cover letter is, again, first step, first impression. So next slide. Now, cover letter is an A4 letter that you type, and you craft out your words. And again, don't fall for template. Cover letter is really how you say it, I collected here 4 pictures from the left. You can either be very shy and put a very soft way of asking, I would like to work for your firm, literally very shy, hide and seek kind of thing. Or the second photo is, you can be so serious that people reading your letter is a little bit worried about, so that all is how you say is different. And the third photo is, you're very confident, you're very pleasant, and it gives that right vibe, even on paper. And of course, you do not want to sound desperate, like the fourth photo, like, please, I must get this job. Then it kind of like scares off your interviewer. Okay. Now, so I'm not going to read this. You guys can just skim through on your own. If you do not know how to write cover letter, again, there are a lot of examples out there, but just be careful. You have to tweak it to speak from your heart. What is your strength? Even if you're not experienced, but I'm sure you have something good that you want to contribute, and literally know that you're writing to say that you are the best person to suit for the job. Okay, now then just a little bit of a tip from me that when writing your letter, be honest when you're writing your resume. It doesn't help if you're trying to kind of like fudge around of your employment background. Sometimes you do gap year, and students may think that they want to kind of like cover it up. Just be honest, because it may not be working on your favor later on. If your employer, if the person who interviews you hire you, and then they found out, oh, you actually did not really do what you said you did. Okay, so I'm just going to just fly through some of this. Just a few tips then. Always end nicely your cover letter. End with a polite closing. Yeah, and then literally put a hint that what is the purpose of you writing, that you want to ask for them to call you, right? Now, so if you've got that all this is done, send CV, letter, portfolio is ready, and then you get that call, okay, to go for an interview. So step number 5 is, on the day before the interview, this is my personal tip, that do a courtesy reminder, follow up, that, because sometimes the interview slots can be arranged like really way ahead, 2-3 weeks ahead. So when on the day, do a courtesy follow-up and confirm that I have an interview appointment in the afternoon, 5 p.m., and make sure you get the venue right, what floor and all that, because you want to go, don't want to end up going to the wrong place. Okay, so my tip number 6. So all this has happened probably 1-2 days before the interview day. Please know the company that you are talking to. You may have sent to 100 companies, but make an effort. If the company made an effort to talk to you, at least make an effort to know them. Okay, it will be really sad when the interviewer asks, so what do you know about us? Why do you want to join us? And then you have no choice but blurt out, say, you are one of the few firms that responded. Okay, now then do some practice if you are not really used to attending interviews, especially fresh from school. So kind of do some rehearsing so that you won't get into a nervous stage. And prepare your words. Tip number 8, prepare your words. Make sure you know your hard copy, bring your resume, printed resume. Now it is a must, but you guys will be surprised. So many who have just turned up empty-handed, they only got their portfolio. And they said, well, I thought we've emailed you our cover letter. I thought I've emailed you my resume. And then on the day itself, they just come with a portfolio. So bring those documents expected to be shown. Okay. Now, then number 9 is dress smart. And I'm not going to judge these 4 gentlemen photos here. You can take a look for it yourself and decide, how do you want to how do you want to dress up when you do meet the interviewer. And it also depends on the venue. In Singapore those days, I've had interviews during lunch interviews, and we have to be having lunch with the CEO while we are eating, and having an interview at the same time. So all that will decide, you will know how to dress appropriately. Okay, so this is a little bit on the grooming. So one slide for guys and one slide for girls. So you decide how you want to show up. That is that kind of a branding that you want to show. Okay, so now number 10, you're halfway now. I always remind my students, be early. It's just not be punctual, but be early, right? So that you can really calm yourself, and don't get panic looking for the right unit, right floor. And step 11, stay calm, right? Whatever it is, it's just interview. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. So don't get really carried away. Just stay calm, just be yourself. It's not gonna hurt much. It's just gonna be like another chit chat conversation. So once you tell yourself that it's just another casual thing, but be professional, and then you'll be all right. Okay, so this is moving on to during the interview. So of course, first impression. I wouldn't say that we want to judge a book by its cover, but when you meet the interviewer, be nice, be courteous, be yourself. Don't try too hard, because people can tell. And then do a proper greeting. If the new normal are not about handshake, do your salam. And the photos I put here, is not the example that I want you guys to do. Don't just sit there and freeze, and because you're nervous, and then you're just staring there, so don't scare off, right? Then 13, always be conscious of body language. At the same time that I'm asking you to stay calm and be yourself, I know, but when you step into an office of an architecture firm that you wish to get a job at, please, be conscious of how you sit. During the waiting period is always where the HR will be like, looking out. And just don't think that you only start to act up when they call you for your turn. So if you're waiting for a recruitment drive, with a big group, just be watchful of how you sit. Okay, no slouching, and then how what it is lah, with body language. So I've collected here a few photos, and yeah, things like this, elbows on the table. So all this speaks, it gives away of your tension. So just relax, and then it will be all right. Okay, so now as the interview moves on, you want to be attentive. Try to keep on to it. Some interviewers tend to be very long-winded. They go on and on and on. Just try to hold on, because they could be testing you. They could be testing your attention span. And then try not to interject if the interviewer is not finished yet. Wait for your turn to speak. Okay. Now then 15. I always want to encourage all of you students to be just be honest. Now, if you are a master's student going out there to work, so you're going to be part 2. So your future bosses will want to test you on your professional practice knowledge. So Dayana will get questions like, what is the strata act on this and all that. And if you really have no idea how to answer it, what should you do? Google it on the spot. I suppose you just have to be honest and say, well, I'm not very familiar, but with the right time and with the right reference, I will be able to find out with the right guidance. So do that rather than try to, in our local language, goreng lah. You don't want to goreng and literally try to convince and guess the answer. Okay. Now on 16, this is the reverse. Sometimes you have candidates who get into too over enthusiastic, and then they go on and on. They go on and on, and they don't know when to stop. Okay, so just know a little bit that if they ask, okay, introduce yourself or your background, just say enough, and then after that, let them ask the next question. Okay, be concise, right? Then 17, again, when they've gone through this background introduction, chit chat, and then it comes to that whole body of work that you have done. So your portfolio is what they want to see now. So you got to be like going into the mode to impress them. So you must know your portfolio well. Whatever that you put in, you don't get into the situation where that you can see your the portfolio that they ask you, you do not know what is it. Okay, so then the next one is don't be too shy about your accomplishment, and then match your job ability, things like that. Okay. Next one. Now, rule 18, ask the right questions. And there will be time that after interview, the interviewer talks much about the company background, their aspirations, and then they will say, would you like to ask any questions? And be prepared for this. Okay, don't get shocked and don't know what to say. So ask intelligent questions, ask smart questions, and because that's probably that few last impressions that you will leave, because usually this is already towards the end. Okay, have something to say, have an opinion, or ask about certain things about the company. Okay, then once interview has ended, there's also things to do lah. Yeah, I feel I just want to remind that once the interview session is done, still do a follow-up. Give it a good few days. Pay attention. Sometimes HR managers will tell you that they are doing this recruitment drive for the next 2-3 weeks. We will call you by end of the month. So be polite, but follow up. When the end of the month comes up, follow up and just find out what was the outcome of the interview. Okay, and if you do have direct engagement with the owner, with the principal architect, send a thank you email. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your time on the hectic schedule to talk to me, and I look forward to receiving your good news. And all these small things does make it a little bit more persuasive, because you really want the job. Then you really have to inch it and try to follow up, because things just don't end at the end of the interview, because they'll be talking to so many candidates, and the ones who stand out after the interview are those who come back. And I mentioned here, provide additional documents. Now, sometimes during the chat, the interview will be talking about, oh, I didn't know you do painting, I didn't know you do sketching. Do you have anything to show from your travel sketches? And then you might say, oh, I didn't bring. And after the interview, now, even though it was not asked, but it shows your initiative to, really and follow up with a submission. Submit your documents to the HR manager. All right. Then 20, I just felt that I need to kind of like end this in case, because these are the tips that I can lay out for you to prepare. And if things does not work out your way, because some of the big firms, some of the well-known firms, post-COVID, post-pandemic, a lot of firms are not really hiring big time. Projects are also not as happening as before. So don't get discouraged if you do not get that job that you really want to go in. So I thought I would end the 20th tip for me is, you really got to just push on. If your first few job interviews didn't turn out well, just don't give up, just keep going, and you will really eventually land the position or the place that you want. Okay, so good luck. I thought that I hope this is a good package of tips for all of you students. I teach 4th year professional practice. I think most of you are here, and I also am a studio lecturer for third year, part 1 graduating students. And part 1, you guys are going out to find job, for your 1 year industrial training before you come back for a master's. So I really hope that, don't take a holiday too long. Get out there, be great, yeah, and be awesome. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you. Dayana, back to you.
Okay, wow. Thank you, Architect Tan Biu. And
Did
your
I,
look
did
so
I talk too
gorgeous.
fast?
I believe that was very concise, very helpful, and because what you're actually talking is actually discussing in depth of what students or even future employees should be looking for. Because often students, including me, every time I finish my part 1 or even the foundation part, lost throughout the time to find what I should be looking for. So what you have with us is actually quite objective on what we should prepare in order for us to get the jobs that we are looking for. And I hope with the tips help the students out there to at least take one step at a time to plan as well. Simply jump to the company and asking, hey, do you have job? Okay. With the second panel we have right here is actually Architect Adrianta, and he will be discussing on beyond the architectural school. So before that, a little bit of introduction about him is actually, I believe that some of you have seen Architect Adrianta in television under Astro Channel, Aman Bina as a title. And he was trained in Oxford, Brookes, and he is also PEM committee and also Acacia for 2017. He is an active educator in grooming 300 registered young architects for the last 9 years in Malaysia. That is wow. Okay. And Architect Adrianta also has conducted a lot of seminars related to buildings. Today, we are very much obliged to have Architect Adrianta to share his knowledge. So welcome, and please share your screen.
Right. Thank you, Dayana,
All
for
right.
your very welcoming statement there. Let me share my screen first. All right. Okay.
Kena bagi applause dulu.
Wow. You can see my screen now, Dayana?
Yes, clear, very clear.
Right. Thank you so much, our moderator, Dayana Aripin, and thank you also to Architect Tan Biu, my good friend there in Penang. I believe that you presented a very informative and very inspiring tips for students. Actually, when you share that, reminds me when I, same as all of the students here. Let me share my video. Where's my video? Oh dear. You see my video? Ada video? Ada muka keluar? Mana ya? Sekejap. Macam dah ada glitch. Kejap dia
Okay, take your time.
Mana ni? Okay, hold on You nampak muka ya?
Yes, oh.
Kalau tak nampak muka tak apa. Macam mana nak bagi muka ni
Dekat bawah tu ada bahagian share content.
Bila I share the screen, hold on
Because you don't see the panel.
Sekejap share besar sikit. Aha, mana dia? Ada lah. I pula yang glitch.
The video is part of your slides ke?
I think so. Hold on
I think then you have to go to the top, probably, and there will be like.
I nampak muka view ni. Tak ada lah, tak keluar button.
Tak keluar button ya.
You are now sharing. Just now sharing file is okay.
Sharing file okay. Ni nampak punya slide ni kan?
Your side is okay.
Okay, now. All right. Okay, can see now? Is it
Yes.
can see me now?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can see now.
Okay. All right. Okay, kebetulan I mean, coincidentally, can be you to prepare yourself doing your portfolio, learning how to face the interview. I just came back from our session, mock-up oral for the young architects to take this part 3 exam. So we conducted a mock-up oral because when you take a part 3, the first hurdle is after you submit your logbook and then you qualify your logbook and then you're gonna have interview session. So coincidentally, when you explain it, it reminds me that all the candidates just now, when they sit down, the way they talk to conduct the interview, I think it's a very informative. I wish I can be your student, you.
Tak tahulah. I try my best.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's whether it comes whether too trivial, but I just want to map it out lah, one by one.
Very informative. I think your student USM, even any students from outside USM, when you watch this, I think this is a very informative tips. Because I'm myself as a not only as a educator, I'm also practicing architect. To declare to you that when we receive all this resume from the any candidates, macam-macam ragam. Ada yang letak gambar macam selfie lah, you know. Ada yang ada yang tak proper, ada yang seksi. You know, I mean, this is not proper when you want to apply the jobs to any architect's firm, any corporate office. When you have such interview and then the write-up for the interview, dia punya email semua not proper. So that's the best tips from Architect Tan View. You are so lucky to hear this tip. Please take notes. And myself today, what Dayana has mentioned to me that this platform that giving a chance and an opportunity for me to share on behalf of PAM, Pertubuhan Architect Malaysia, as the chairman of education committee. Yesterday is our last final term and hopefully we can meet up for the next term. So PAM also organized education, and I believe all the students know that we have conducted education during MCO and so on, but we're going to do it online, MASA online, Malaysian Architecture Student Alliance, and there will be a lot of competition for the students. Yeah. And also, I take opportunity to take on behalf of LAM as well, the Lembaga Architect Malaysia, because I would encourage all the students who ever watch here. Once you graduate, once you got result, don't forget, register yourself to Lembaga Architect Malaysia as a graduate architects for part 2. Yeah, part 2 student who graduated. Don't forget. Tiga kali saya cakap. Register yourself to Lembaga Architect Malaysia as a graduate architect. For those who just finished part 1 pula, don't forget. Register yourself. You have the opportunity to register yourself as a architecture technologist. If you want to know further, I already put it the link there. Please browse through because it's very important. All the young architects to register. When you want to start to working in the architects field, please register yourself. Yeah, that's the very important. Betul tak, Biu?
Yes.
I'm also taking an opportunity to have this platform for Acacia because I'm handling now for architectural education for the whole Asia, and hopefully we're gonna organize maybe inter-country the courses at the university. But students here, take a deep breath. Gain positive energy, set your positive mindset, with positive chi, This is only a dialogue session. It's not a lecture. Don't worry, just relax, okay? Just life and talking about, the storyline about life on architect, just podcast and things. But when Architect Tan Biu discussed with me before, and then she gave me this topic, I would like to share. This is the thoughts, only an option. It doesn't mean that my ocean is the best, but I do my best to share what I have known based on my experience, based on what I see to this generation. Is about beyond architecture school, and then what's next. Yeah, is a very important topic actually. I can say it is a helpful tips, hopefully. Just only your thoughts. It could be not the best option for you, but it is only an alternative for you. Shall I begin with my dialogue here, starting with the quotient part? Because as an architect, we have the intelligent quotient, we have the emotional quotient, we also have important things about spiritual quotient. But this dialogue session is more about cover up beyond that. It's not only about spiritual, it's not only about your emotional, it's not only about creativity, but now coming back to the entrepreneurs as a sentiment of doing business in architecture field and beyond, about management quotient, business quotient, entertainment quotient, capacity quotient, and also a job quotient. Um, First of all, I would like to congratulate in advance. Yeah, especially Dana, you're gonna grad soon. Yeah, you're gonna graduate soon. I
Yes,
would like to
can't wait for that.
Yeah, I would like to congratulations
Thank
in
you.
advance. All the students here, you should reward yourself. You know, sooner or later, you're gonna graduate. This is the best moment I can tell you, because after all these years, after all this episode, this is the best moment when you cheer up with your friends, with your studio mates, with your clique, and especially with your family. They're so proud of you. And you know, let's cheer up everybody. Set positive, because sooner or later you graduate. You're gonna finish soon. Let's celebrate it, okay? Let's celebrate. And then, even I don't hear you clapping your hands, please clap your hands to yourself. Oh, yes, you're gonna graduate soon. Let's celebrate. And then go and reward yourself. What architect time do you said just now? After you graduate, reward yourself. But don't take too long. Don't take too long. You reward yourself and then start to take a pause a moment. This is a part of memories. This is I want to say that when you remember when you kids, if you really want to be, you know, an architect, this is your ambition, and you start to say to your dad, to your mom, or to your friends, to your family, say, when I grow up, I want to be an architect. And now you have run through all this episode, life and architecture students. As you know, yeah, I can tell you that some of the people said these memories can hit you, but why not? You just sit down for a while before you graduate. List down at least 10 reasons why you want to study architecture. Just for your thoughts. Just list down on your a piece of paper. Just list down the reason why you study architecture. Because after all this episode, sooner you know you people will look at you like this. You know, even though look ugly, but we still cute. But for those students from the first year until you can see all your seniors on the last year, last semesters, again, for me personally, I remember when I students, this is my sweet memories. I can see the way I sleep, the way I can see my friends sleep until ada yang pengsan tengah-tengah nak hantar buat submission, you know. And then there's a lot of angle, a lot of style when my friends sleeping in the studio, you know. I mean, this is I can tell you, Dana. I think
Yeah,
during
this
our
is so
time,
funny.
yes, exactly, and then we feel so guilty when we sleep during study week. It's like a crime. It's like a crime, and then especially during nearly to the submission. But you know, when we still remember when we kid and we in kindergarten, we sleep on the floor or maybe in the studio again. But again, this is the specialty about us. If you try to compare with others, friends who study different courses, because we have a ability to sleep anywhere. I'm not sure about you, Dana. Any kind
Yeah.
of position, as long comfortable. Even I can imagine during MCO, during lockdown, most of the students study from home, learning from home, working from home. I can imagine how your studio converted. I mean, your bedroom converted become a studio, and then there you are. Until you can relate yourself, you know, you study. Even you can imagine, yeah, you know what I mean.
Even the soul is waking up at night.
Even the soul,
I wish I
exactly
can do
you.
this exactly. Dalam tidur pun boleh
Right.
kerja. I was
Wow,
just telling my
fantastic, man.
friends that day. Yeah.
Can you imagine that when you sleep
Yeah.
and then you imagine that your submissions pun dah ready and you bangun-bangun, alamak, rupanya mimpi. But again, as a student, we're talking about eat, sleep, design. This is our routine. But you remember during your time, even you witness your friend is so eager to explain. This is my presentation. This is my concept. Wow, the gesture of the face, and then some of the friend will say, boyo lah kau ni masa dulu. You know, I mean, I still remember all this is a part of memories. It's a part of the episode. Eat, drink, sleep, drink, bath, walk, see, think, hear, breath, feel, smell. This is our architecture life. But all this, I can tell you, is about balance now. This is a reflection. Yeah, this is a reflection. The perception of people when friends think that they're so eager to be an architect, but they don't have any opportunity. But you are the lucky one who can study architecture and what they think about you. But the reality, I think among ourselves, among us, we know what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is a reflection. When I'm talking about reflection, when you come to the reality world now, when I say reality world, reality practice, when you start to work, whatever you have done during your studio in universities, when you come to reality, it's totally changed. It's not, I can tell you, it's not easy to materialize our dreams to become reality, especially to our client. They're so concerned about time, they're concerned about cost, but do appreciate now. Do appreciate now, because the perception of people when you start to design during your studio time, so extra Wagalza semua konsep gila-gila kan, tapi bila datang dunia reality, the people will say, macam ni you design kau, so what to do? But this is, I can tell you, this is a constraint, is a limitation. And then when we start to work later on, the perception of, wow, is it tough to study architecture? You know what I mean? You know, but again, sorry to show this slide, but I want everybody to be energetic now, to be appreciating your journey. You know, your journey. Sooner or later, you're gonna be beautiful. You're gonna be handsome, because everybody here wants to be an architect. That's why you study longest term, longest semester compared to other professions. I mean, looking back the past, especially for me, especially for architect Tandiu, the studio, how we study, and then especially this generation, that they have many staff to study in the studio, enjoying themselves, working as a team. But coming back to the reality, whoever have a chance to have an internship, and then when you start to work, you have to remember, I dare to say to all of you, whatever you study in the studio, whatever you study in the university, is consists you 10% saja to accommodate you to go to the real world out there. The other 90% macam mana? Where is 90%? You will learn, you will expose, you will explore through experience. This is another note. You have to remember that the best thing about architecture students studying architecture, there will be a sweet memories. Appreciate your time now, yeah, because soon when you come to my age, you're gonna talk like a numb story, it's like, wah, dulu kita buat macam ni, dulu kita tidur bawah meja lah, kita buat model macam ni. It's a memories for you. It's in kind of a new episode, but go to beyond now. We're gonna seek the adventures. It's expedition. In reality, when talking about our career, we're going to face clients, we're going to sit down with consultants, we're going to deal with many stakeholders, authorities. I mean, go to the site, and then every time you watch movie or watch drama, everybody want to be an architect. And then does it make sense that architect out there pergi site pakai coat, pakai makeup? No way, man. Lepas tu pegang plan terbalik. I can tell you, because a lot of people looking at our profession is like truly beautiful thing, but you should appreciate, because a career come with a passion come together. It's a beautiful thing. But again, I have to highlight all of you, our profession, especially if you study here in USM, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's truly expensive. When it comes part, and then when you start to graduate, first thing in your mind, I want to get a job, I want to find a higher salary I can do. I mean, you have to talk to yourself that when you say to yourself, I'm an architect now, but what is architecture? Now coming back to the fundamental. Bila tanya balik fundamental architecture tu apa benda, what is architecture, semua gagak-gagak apa tu.
Tu lah baru dah cakap.
Apa mereka? You know what I mean? So reflect yourself. What is the fundamental? What is the definition of architecture? believe it or not, we actually, as artists, we actually, as a scientist, we actually, as a problem solver, a lot of things you can list down. That's why I ask you, why the reason you want to be an architect? 10 ya, tak payah banyak. Tapi again, kalau orang tengok, the public say, is a creature that sleep 2 hours a week, consume entirely too much caffeine, likes to overuse. I mean, this is the reality that maybe most of you don't have this exposure. But I dare to say to you, to be an architecture student, when you do your internship, and then you start to work as a junior architect, and then so later, after all the time pass, you become senior architect, and then you start to realize that, again, the progression from your studio time, dengan ada gadget you, and then slowly when you work to the office, ada dia punya cubicle, bila you jadi boss nanti, dia lain lah, you know. But this is anatomy of an architect. And for me, is like 360 views. I hope that you can discover this before you go out there. Because this is what we're talking about, a mission statement. To strategize yourself, to achieve what is your architecture career that you're looking for. Ready or not? Okay, this is only some abstraction. I told you that I'm an architect, I'm also artist, I pun ada banyak hobi I poetry, I buat lagu you know, I buat painting you know, we're artists. But when talking about this topic today, it's like a journey. When talking about this, please, my dear students, be patient. Do trust to your journey now. You know, sometimes journey kita ada yang straight, you can see the horizon yang jauh, but you don't know what's happened there. Sometimes when you see on the sky, dah jadi mendung, and then you wonder, is it hujan ke tak hujan? Or maybe dah tahu dah, ini tak hujan, tapi pergi tengok, tiba-tiba sampai malam, you can see beautiful things. Sometimes sampai malam, when the darkness, you don't know what's foreseen in front of you. And you have to use your imagination, you have to use your innovation idea, you have to use your creativity to pass through. But some people, they start to giving up, and then they create their own storm, and they get upset when it rains. Actually, when it rains, bila hujan, it's like a blessing with all the storm and everything. So that's why I say, when you're talking about this analogy as a journey, it's like after rain, it's going to be like a rainbow, a colorful rainbow, you know, will calm you down, and then after that, there will be a new beginning. What I'm trying to say, be strong when you face this journey. Because your journey, my dear student here, begins with a choice. Your choice to get up, step out and live fully. Follow your dreams. When you're setting a big dream there, follow your passion. Because you need to pursue your dreams and then to achieve success. And then let's say you have stuck behind it, or you have in the middle of junction. They say if there's no path, you have to make it one by your own initiative. I repeat again, stay patient and trust your journey. Always look on the bright side of your life, and sometimes your dreams definitely will come through with your courage to pursue them. Student, life is a journey. It's not the destination. So you have to do with patience. So everyone has a story. I have a story, Architect Tan has a story, and then you can ask any architect, they have their own story. But you need to work to learn, not work for money. That's the first mindset here. After your parents spend a lot of money to make you study in USM or any other universities, but when you graduate, it's not about work for money now. Because for me, I personally say, I don't work for money, but I work for my freedom to pursue my dream. Because I can see all this timeline is like an episode to another episode to another episode. And what is the end of the episode? It will be beginning to another episode. You need to plan yourself, my dear student. That's why I said, this is the timeline that you have to put a milestone each of the event, each of the episode. For example, study part 1. How many years you study USM? After you graduate, that's the first milestone. Then you have to work maximum 6 months or 1 year. Then after that, you pursue to your part 2, if you can have an opportunity. Then another 2 years to facing your master. Then there's another milestone. What next? What's next? Next to episode to next episode. So I want to tell you, life should come with a strategy. First, you do projection. Let me tell you this. When you do the projection, like what I saw just now, Architect Time, you has drawn the timeline. When you do that, why not you, after this lecture, after this talk, you sit down back, you do your timeline, you do your projection. Now it's year 2020. What could happen in year 2030, in 10 years time? You list down. List down what is your aim. You have to do your projection until you need to achieve your successful career that you wanted, that you dreamed before. You make your own storyline. What I'm trying to share here is by my own experience. I was so lucky to have mentor to guide me. He's the one who told me that do a projection, Adrianta. So when I do a projection, I have to foresee that in 10 years time, where should I be there? You know what I mean? So for me, I can tell you 2020 now, for all this generation here, you listen to me, you need to do your projection until 2030. Some of you wanted to have an AR. Some of you wanted to become a businessman as an architect. Some of you want to be a lot of things, because later on I will share you, there's a lot of career in architecture. Doesn't mean that you work in the office or what, doesn't mean that. But you need to create, what is your story now? When you're talking about your story, when you make your storyline, there's a lot of opportunities out there. Even though you heard, or maybe your perception to say, oh, after pandemic, after MCO, is it going to be a huge recession? I can tell you, I faced a recession before, back year 1997, during I finished up my master in Oxford Rooms before. And I was like, wow, it's recession. But unfortunately, my mentor already told me that when you do a projection, you have to find your path to make an option. Sometimes, sooner or later, you have to imagine your story could end up not only on paper, it can be using materials to tell a story. I hope you understand my abstraction here. Your building become your remarks. For example, I'm so proud to architect Tan Biu. She won the gold award. She already made a storyline of her achievement. You know what I mean? So plan your life here. You have to plan your lives to set yourself which is the right path, which is the right decision you want to go. Because when talking about career, beyond the career in architecture, there's a lot of angle now. What is your interest? What is your vision? With your skills that you are capable to do it. Bring your values with the educational background behind you to achieve goals. Because architecture is already in your life already, student. To tell you the truth, maybe some of you don't have any opportunity to work longer, but to live an architect, make it a very simple anatomy to be an architect. I tell you, I have to declare to you, no matter what people say, it's the toughest profession, but I'm here to say I'm so proud to be an architect because it's a beautiful profession. I can declare to you that I'm not only doing a practicing architect, I'm not only doing my education, I'm not doing to helping young generation, but I can do a lot of things. For example, I have my own TV show, and then I have my own arts, I have my own interests, I have a lot of things. Yeah, so define yourself there, because part of architect's brain, I mean, we are a creativity person. We are artists. We got a lot of things from our brain. When you're talking about your career, it's about professionalism. So I hope to you guys, after you graduate, you can sometimes you try to browse what is a professionalism all about. When talking about professionalism, you have your critical thinking, you stand with your ethic, you need to work as a team with the humanness and improve your communication skill with a positive mindset. When you're talking about positive mindset, architects is a medium, is a profession that we're going to serve to people. We're going to serve to society. So that's why I recommend you, highly recommend you, no matter what, be positive all our time. It's an unstoppable mindset. You need to stay focused to achieve your goal, because to tell the truth, with our intelligent quotient, the IQ, and the emotional quotient, the EQ part, and also with our SQ, the spiritual quotient, to growth mindset, that you have to understand the left brain, right brain, that we, as a human being, a normal human being, We have a growth mindset, and we also have a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset, that when you start to become negative, you start frustrated, and you become monotonous. But when you're talking about growth mindset, if you want to go beyond, that's why I recommend all of you, once you graduate, take opportunity to improve your hard skill and soft skill. For example, after I graduate from my part one, I quickly, during our time, the 3D Max has been introduced. So I just go and have a quick course for how to improve my soft skill, how to improve my communication skill, because I believe an architect, you need to good in speaking and marketing your design, a lot of things you need to list down, my dear student. Take opportunity after you graduate, once you reward yourself, list down that what is your soft skill need to improve. Yeah, the way your critical thinking, how to, initiative to, become a problem solver, a lot of things you need to find. You just browse soft skill that you need to define. There's a lot more, a lot of things that you need to improve. How to do presentation skill, leadership, team skill, customer, a lot of things. So now, when you're talking about this skill, I'm trying to say that architecture is beyond of our career. Doesn't mean that a lot of say, oh, to be an architect, at last you buat bangunan, you buat city, you buat tempat, you buat space. Actually can be beyond. By looking on this, all this dream job yang you nampak sekarang, jangan risau, keep calm, keep telling to yourself that I'm gonna be an architect. Now, when you graduate, there you are, a junction, how, where, and why, and what to go beyond. Either you want to go left, or you want to go right, or you want to go straight, or you want to go behind, or you want to go up there. Don't go down there. This is about decision. You have to make a right decision. Because architecture in lifetime is so beautiful. Dia ada banyak angle, a lot of angle. So you need, how you want to know that is the right decision or decision. Macam mana nak tahu is it decision ke decision? What, you have no choice, you have to make it. Even though you face a wrong decision pun, it's okay. Is it failure? But failure make you learn more. Make you, moving forward. I always say that I do not believe in taking the right decision. I take a decision and make it right. Itu salah satu spirit yang you say, you never give up. Sometimes you have to make the right decision, but sometimes you have to make the decision right. So because of our dreams can come true if you have the courage and to pursue that. Choose to be optimistic. Nak pergi beyond. This is only perception. Yeah, the system of life. When you kids, you got a lot of time, but no money, but ada energy. When you become teenagers, you become a young person, dah tak ada masa dah. Asyik sibuk, yang busy je. Macam cakap diri saya sendiri ni. Tapi ada duit, ada energy. Tapi bila dah tua nanti, when you become older, you have time, you have money, but energy pula tak ada. Tapi a lot of people say perception, wah kita tak ada tiga-tiga. Kan? Never take side in conflict, you know nothing about it. Because everybody thought that to be an architect can be rich. And then one of the session in university in overseas, one of the students asked me, do you think that to become an architect can be rich? I say yes. Is it your intention to be rich? Yes. And then I advise him, you have to change your intention. My answer here, to be an architect, of course, you don't need to aim to be rich. Yeah, because if you aim to be rich, I can tell you it become unhealthy. I don't know, I share my thoughts. I'm not aiming to be rich. I'm aiming to be success. When you're aiming to become success, the richness will come automatically. And the richness doesn't mean to be like monetary, but it comes richness in time, richness in your health, richness on your satisfaction. So again, my dear student, once you graduate, don't be addicted to money. You need to work to learn. Don't work for money, work for knowledge. Because knowledge gives you an experience. And then work for the freedom, where the money can bring you automatically. Money isn't everything. I can tell you, true. Is it true? I mean, we need money to sustain our life. We need money to cover up our debts, you know, study loans, whatever. But without money, everything is nothing. But because of the job that you choose, it's not what you do for money. Job is that you go with your passion to find success. This is only my thoughts. It's up to you. But I believe this. Because money isn't everything here. You can buy bed, but sometimes you can sleep. You can buy a watch, but no time. But you can buy a book, but no knowledge. But if you can buy position without respect, you know, if you can buy medicine, but you unhealthy, but you can buy blood, but with no life. So I don't want to mention the last tips, but again, money isn't everything. But what you do, even money was not an object, that's the first perception from your mind. Don't work for the money, let the money work for you. If possible, create, believe, take a risk. The future is your decision. So now you want to go beyond, ask yourself first, who are you? You ask yourself, but who are you? I'm a part 1 graduate, or maybe I'm a part 2 graduate, or I'm a master graduate, or I'm a PhD holder. You define yourself, not only to definite your knowledge, your results, your your achievement in your university studies or what, but you need to define what are the things that you can go beyond. This is why I encourage students now, do not be so, monotonous about knowledge. You need to be versatile. You are active student. You got a lot of things to do in voluntary reason. You help about the university system. I mean, a lot of things you need to explore. So this is why I'm encourage you to become a versatility, because this another angle, another value for all corporates out there, for all architects firm or even other stakeholders. They're not only looking to your qualification, they're not only looking at your result, even though nowadays I can see students so easy to obtain dean list, the result always A plus, A. But where is the other value that can benefit them? So how much do you can value yourself now? I'm sorry to say this, but no sorry to regret to say this. You go out there for the first job, when you put the column how much salary you expect, you ask yourself what value you are now. If you want to go beyond, if you put like I got this candidate came to my office, he just graduated from Liverpool, 6 month gap, and I asked him, what did you do this last 6 months? You said, I'm having holiday, I went overseas. Okay, fine. When I say, hey, wow, first time, no experience, fresh grad, you want to expected salary for 8,000. Okay, it's okay. Your, 8,000 for the fresh graduate, so ambitious. Okay, I'm respect for that. But when I ask you, what's another value that you can value yourself, qualify yourself to obtain 8,000 per month? When I ask you what's the size of bricks, I never see bricks. And then we're okay, never see bricks. And then we'll ask them, okay, maybe you never have a chance to see bricks. Okay, what is the maximum distance from 1,500 to 1,500? Because you are part 2 student, a master student, you should know that basic. And then how can you value yourself to obtain 8,000 per month? You're gonna be disrespect if you do that. So please, like what architect you said, you want to be outstanding. Yes, you want to be different. You have a value with that, but you need to analyze who are you now. Not only about your knowledge, your skill. You have to choose and then identify what is your specialties, what is your weakness. This is what we call, you need to build your personal brand. When you're talking about your personal brand, how you see yourself now, how others see you, then you can identify your personal brand. When you have a brand with the identity, then people will realize that student and candidate ni datang kerja, design okay, tak adalah power sangat, alright, fine, but he so active on doing this. this program, he participate this competition, or he went to the architecture student workshop. Oh, he got his interest doing painting. Oh, he used to work in voluntary to this society and so on. This is all the item can go beyond of your career. Because when talking about the learner's type to be, or maybe what type of person you are, you have your principle, balance, thinker, a critical thinker, a risk taker, knowledgeable. Because when you compare, when I start to, adjust all these things, what they currently think of you, what you want them to think of you, or what you don't want them to think of you, either bad or great, or do not show, or just keep it your weakness. This is your brand, my dear student. If you want to go beyond, define that. Because the skill that you have, you the only person you know. Some of the student good in the presentation skill, but the design so-so. But the presentation is good. This candidate is good on marketing side. Maybe can I don't know you, I can this candidate who very good on the speaking communication. I can put him as an architect to follow up our fees, to collect our fees from our client.
Muka tebal eh?
Muka tebal, dia pakai makeup, pakai smart, go and deal our fees. Who knows? And then maybe this person who good in the communication skill can do our marketing to lobby the job, because we need that. Not only talking about good in, holding the mouse and then do the design. It's not only that, it can go beyond.
True.
Telling you, successful people never wrong, never be worried. But again, don't just think about what other people doing. If you heard about, your friends have worked this big firm, I'm only a small firm. Don't compare his journey. This is your journey. For me, I declare to you, I used to work a big firm before, and then I used to work international firm before, and I come back and use small firm. All this journey, the best episode, the best memories is when I work in a small firm, because my boss give me opportunity to cover a lot of things that I learned. It's very tough. To achieve success, you have to think what's your control. If you failure, do it again, keep doing it. That's why I encourage all of you, go and find your mentor. This is what happened to my life. I'm so lucky to have mentor to give us projection, giving an advice. Go and find your mentor. Doesn't mean the mentor is an architect or what. Maybe sometimes beyond that. We're talking about architecture career is professionalism. But for me, I don't believe only professionalism. To be an architect, professionalism and passionalism. Because our career is patient. You need to find your passion now. You have to do what you love and love what you do now. So that's why I said to the student, if you have a great result, you have a great portfolio, you have a good resume, but if you don't have a right attitude, the real world not accept you. Your attitude determines your direction, because attitude is everything, my dear student. Another thing, this is the biggest enemy for every architect, ego. So please remind ourselves, the architecture passion is about serving people. You need to be humble. You need to be, because what Einstein said, it's like more the knowledge, lesser the ego, but lesser the knowledge, more the ego. I hope you go and understand this one, I'm trying to say. But again, reflect to yourself, how you see yourself again, how you want to put your personal brand. Because don't expect, when you want to achieve success, there's no discipline, no way. Goals cannot achieve without discipline. To declare to you, your generation have this problem. The wrong attitude. He have a good skill. He can do a good design. He can do animation. He can do drawings. He can do project management well. But if no discipline, no up attitude, I think this punctuality, that what Ar.Tan said just now, doesn't mean punctuality is on the dot. For me, I always believe 1 hour before departure, 2 hours before departure, because the deadline today is like, it's like amazing. Today, this morning, client give email, the brief project, and then he expect to present with him at the noon for design concept after lunchtime. Can you imagine? The time is very fast. So please do respect this with a positive mindset. Always be positive, because be patient, be honest, with integrity, compassion, because this is your personal development if you want to go beyond. Because stay positive is about everything now. With the positive mindset will determine your happiness. Because I believe to be an architect, after you study your architecture, you don't want to be unhealthy. You want to be happy what you're doing actually. So this is the sense of purpose now. Now I'm talking about purpose if we want to go beyond. So great satisfaction now. It comes from sharing with others. For me, I believe on satisfaction and the secret of success. It's very difficult to say this to all of you. Who can declare that you are sincere to yourself, sincere to your profession? When you're talking about versatility, this is what I tell you. Architecture doesn't mean that once you graduate part one or once you graduate master, doesn't mean that you go to the office and have experience and become, a normal that we heard before. But architecture can go beyond. If you interest about history, if you interest about heritage, you can study heritage and then can become an architecture who expert in heritage. If there's a lot of things. Tourism architecture. If you can become urban sketches, or maybe you love to do articles, you can become architecture who's expert in publication, or even you love to create a place, and you become an architect who expert on placemaking, or maybe you are an architect who love to do maps, road maps and everything. You become an architect who expert about roads. You can become a graphic designer, or maybe you want to be authority, work with the government, with authority, and become, we really need an architect in politician. So who knows? Student here who ever listen to me, we want whoever interest about politician, go out there and become politician in architecture. You become innovator if you want to. If you want to become an expert on medicine, you become hospital specialist. Or even you love nature, you become an architecture who expert about landscape. You become, educator if you want to. You become lecturer, you become teacher. And come on, man, you got a lot of things. Now we got YouTubes, we got Instagrammer, and architecture now can go beyond that. With your expertise, with your interest, that what you love to do, make your right decision. Because in architecture, a lot of types of architecture, a lot of types of personnel to call profession in architect. Business architect, yeah, he don't care about design. As long I got business, the bangunan makan ayam pun, I don't care. As long it's business. Ada juga architect macam tu. Or maybe you become an architect, more information, or talking about infrastructure, talking about software, talking about the solution. You choose architecture a lot. Or maybe a lot of things. You become, beautiful. Versatility goes back for those who don't have exposure, the organization firm in our structure organization. There's a lot. If you're good in technical, you become a production team member. If you're good in project management, you can deal with the project department. If you're good interest on design, you can become designer. Or if you're good in marketing, you can become a marketing platform. Or if you're good on administration, then you work under architecture administration. A lot more. There's a lot more. So out there, my dear student, some of you may not know what is the organization types of firm out there. They got body corporates, they got partnerships, they got sole proprietor, they got multidisciplinary firm, the big firm. Even you can go to the small firm, they got hierarchy of this position. You know what I mean? So choose what you really love to do. It's not because, I want because I have a opportunity to have a big salary there. Pergi kerja big salary. Tapi lama-lama you rasa macam, this is not the one I love to do. This is not my passion. Then you monotonous. Then you start to blame. Menyesal. Kenapalah aku study architecture. Aku duduk bawah tangga buat detail tangga je. Because you choose, sebab gaji aku tinggi kat sini. I don't care. Okay, buatlah detail tangga. Buatlah sampai tua. Lepas tu detail toilet. Maybe some of you love to do that kind of approach, but some of you love to explore beyond that. So that's why I say there's so many types of position in architecture. You can become designer, can become architects, or become educator, or you even good in BIM, BIM building information, and then you become interior design, you become urban design, or you can come up your own thoughts of it. You become enterprise, you become solution, technical, And all of this, what I tell you, all of the profession angle is a problem solver punya profession. So this is the career in architecture who can go beyond versatility. So now student, go back now or maybe take a pause, list down what is your weakness and what is your expertise and define yourself. If you're good in sketching, if you're good in design, if you're interested on communication, if you're good in landscape, you list down, then this that you choose your decision, which journey that I told you just now, which route that you want to go, then you become the dream maker. Because all of us here, we are dream makers because we are the profession who make the people dreams come true. Because with our creativity, we can go beyond out there and get ready, my dear student, with the technology so complicated, so complex, and there will be a lot more coming. Yeah, being an architect is not just only design things, it's about materializing the idea. It's not only having a job, but you giving a value to your work. It's not creating design, it's about understanding society. It's not only talking about building, it's about giving an emotion, giving an experience to people. It's not giving a solution. You become a creative person. It's not just meeting people, meeting clients, but you discuss their dreams to make come true. I love architecture, my dear student. You can make right decision all time, but you can learn a wrong ones every time. So nothing's perfect now. Nothing's perfect. So a mistake, I tell you, a failure is also a success in process. It's also a success in progress. This is the beautiful explanation that everybody have to face. So that's why you keep telling to yourself, you have to say no to a lot of good things in order to be able to say yes to a lot of things, of great things. To be an architect, yeah, it sounds very hard, but it's totally worth it, I tell you. A day life, during our routine, we have our normal routine, but now how you want to make your idea came true with your action plan. You need to work as a team with passion, with a strong determination, your initiative, with the professionalism elements. Keep continue to improve to become better than delayed perfection. List down now before you go beyond. You have to list down, even though you have many options now, but you need to make decision by following your heart, because your decision is not your condition that determine your destiny. This is a day life as an architect. Being an architect, compare our time and your time, and maybe before my time or before architect done your time. This is evolution, is totally go beyond. I think architect time you should be agree with me, because our time last time we don't have any these gadgets. We don't
Yeah,
have this gadget. Now students like no need to go to library. They just
exactly.
Google. That's it. You got Pinterest, you got Instagram. Oh my God, it's so easy. But again, you need to compile your personal development plan so that sooner or later you're gonna have your personal success story. And when you start to enjoy your career success and then start set your goal to yourself and learn from the mistake, learn from the feedback, and take bravely your ownership that you're gonna everything you do, because life is too short, my dear student. No matter what, you need to define what you really want to do. Talking about architecture is about professionalism, but for me today, not only about professionalism, architecture also talking about passionalism. So passion is energy. You need to choose smartly. You need to choose wisely, because to live a creative life, we must lose for our fear for being wrong. And especially during pandemic, the effect of our economy, our politics in our country, a lot of challenges and a lot of possibilities in front of us. And then you have to make your contingency plan to go ahead if you want to go beyond. You have a lot of options, and then there's always the next level, new decision, new episode, so that you can inspire from your challenges. But again, I just want to share all of you my aim to become an architecture in my profession now, to share with you. Let's go for zero debt life. Just be happy, be healthy, because this is the dream. It's impossible to achieve, to face failure and fear. If there no way to go beyond there, I told you that you need to create your path. So make yourself unstoppable now. You can have better tomorrow, but you still thinking about yesterday. Let's inspired by the past, build for the future. This is truth life. True from my eyes as an architect, because the art is need to the truth, not sincerity, to be determination to achieve success. Do more of what you makes you happy. This is what my recommendation if you want to go beyond of your career after your student life. Because for me, when I love to read about Steve Jobs, when he mentioned that the only way to do great work is about to love what you do. Don't force yourself. You need to find this mojo. Great work is to love what you do. Never stop exploring. Even I love to share this Jack Ma when he start to, telling him his story. He's facing a lot of failures, but this is good advice. By the age of below 20, be a good student. But when you come 20 to 30 years old, you just follow your mentor, follow your good boss, even the small company. When you come to age 30 to 40 years old, and you start to explore yourself to work for yourself now. When you come to age 40 to 50, you need to be focused what you really need good to do. And then when you come 50 to 60 years old, you start to invest young people. You do some mentoring there. It's like symbiosis. When you come to 60 years old above, you will long life, you need to spend time for yourself, So again, for now, I hope my dialogue here, and I'll open up to question and answer. Begin your signature now. Start to love your profession, because I understand pain is temporary, but pride is forever. This is a mission statement from me to you. I'm asking you an option. Is it want to be an architect to become a good architect, or the best architect, or you choose to become healthy and happy architect? You choose, because design life the way you want it to be. And believe it or not, you, my dear student, you are the creator of your own destiny. If you want to go beyond, believe that success is a journey, not destination. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay cool. Yeah? Pray to everyone's safety yourself. Before I end up my dialogue today, always remember this. Remember this. In this life, there's no such security. Remember that. It's only an opportunity. Go and find opportunity and do prioritize your opportunity. Keep telling to yourself, you architects of tomorrow. Thank you so much. So we open up for questions.
Well, I am stunned, and I believe that the students and all the participants are hyped with your presentation, and especially the way you are telling us about of all. And you keep on repeating and mentioning about staying positive. And we have been listening to all this repeatedly, but I believe that it is easier said than done. But
Correct.
also, at the same time, it can be done if we believe in ourselves. And you have that excitement and you show that fire within yourself, in which, honestly, I'm like, wow, Architect Adrianta, thank you so much.
Don't mention. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So
I would
you,
like to, yeah.
you got any question answer? We open to the floor, yeah?
I just want to add a little bit because I realized I stayed away on the issue of salary. So some students definitely will be like, she totally missed the part about, expected salary. And then when you talk about, what's your worth, what's your value. So I'm glad you mentioned on that. And then I think that's very relevant at this time. A lot of us are not very certain of how things will turn out next year kan, and so I think it's good that you address it right on, straight to the point. Money is not everything, and if our students here can look at it this way, if money is an important criteria, and because you could not get that salary amount that you want in your mind, and you rather go menganggur, you rather go jobless, I think
Yeah,
it will be a waste of your growth.
correct.
Sebab when you tend to go kind of like stay home, you may say that you are dabbling in online business, startup
Correct.
ventures, but lama kelamaan you may lose the edge, right?
Correct.
So my personal advice is, just go out there and get any work that you can. Am
Yeah.
I right, Ar.Tan? And,
Yeah.
and you mentioned it, architects are, you should be living life experiences. Kalau tak ada kerja as
Yeah.
in an
You
archi
have
firm,
to.
kan?
Yeah.
So I think it's really good that you cover up the areas that I missed lah.
Yeah. It's not miss. I just echo what you say. Just
I
echo.
feel it's a bit sensitive to talk about money, and all that. So
Maybe
I thought
not
I
from
focus on the skills.
yeah, maybe not from you. It's better from me because I'm a person out from your campus, and then I'm truly honest to share this advice to all the students. This is the reality because to tell the truth, when I compare certain people, because sometimes we need to learn observation for other people. Be careful when the students start to go out there, they go for the higher salary. When they have so comfort zone, and then suddenly recession, they drop their salary, dia dah tak healthy, banyak debts, a lot of unhealthy. No. For me, I believe go from below up there and you appreciate the journey. Maybe
Yeah.
I just declare part 1, masa I dulu part 1 gaji I 1,500 je. Kan? Tapi when you grow up, we need to go up. It's not like going down. From 1,005 you go up 2,005, you go 3,000, you go 4,000, you go 5,000, and then I tell you, I don't want to mention what I gain now, but I can tell you it's beautiful. Beautiful. Itu je I boleh pasal. Okay?
And can I ask about this? I mean, like right now we're facing the pandemic, right? And we have, as a student, we have been listening to the firms has been reducing some of the salaries of the people. And I know that there's no other way out for the employers as well. I feel that for students to simply accept that lower salary value, or they should move on to find what they're passionate about. Which one we should go looking for?
Well, it's simple here, Dayana. If you love what you do, a small salary, but because you love what you do with your passion,
Yes.
it's okay. You just go for it. But if you cut it down, your salary, but look back that what scope of work that you do that you've been forced to, no sincerity, no happiness, go out there, find the other option. But again, this is about opportunities. For me, come back to the opportunities because nowadays, very competitive, but not make you guys to worry about it. Because for me, I believe when you become an innovator, you become a designer, you create a project, you serve to other firm. For example, macam I cakap tadi, if you expert on 3D making or video making, katakan you minat benda tu kan, tiba-tiba you kerja kena buang, contohlah dia kena buang. Biasa bagi aviation, tapi you go out there, you shout to all market here, to stakeholder, hey, I'm good doing 3D animation. I can tell you a lot of firm looking for you guys. A lot of firm looking for you guys. Itu baru 3D animation. Okay, now I'm talking about marketing. I tengah cari, kalau dia nak pandai lah. I tengah cari orang yang capable kejar fees kita ni.
Listen, student, listen. This is your opportunity.
Dayana boleh tu, Dayana.
Boleh tu. Pergi jumpa klien, bayarlah fees ni, kerja arkitek dah buat.
Follow up. Yeah.
Mana orang macam tu, sebab muka I ni dah jadi macam ceti dah sekarang. Betul tak, Biu? The most challenging part, one of it, I just want to acknowledge all of you. Architecture ni, we are profession yang bukan produce product tau. Kalau produce product, we can pay COD, cash on delivery. Macam mamak tu untunglah, kita makan mi goreng, sedap tak sedap, kita kena bayar kat kaunter. Kita ni buat kerja, kita bagi servis. Bila bagi servis, itu dah masalah dia. I need, this is another profession for all architect, graduate architect yang who good in the marketing, who good to dealing with the fees, who good to do chasing the payment. Wah, yang tu I rasa banyak firm cari orang macam you. Actually ada banyak lagi. heritage. Yang paling best sekali politician. BU. Siapa kalau dalam politik boleh jadi arkitek? Itulah. Kan? Actually a lot more.
And just now you did mention about opportunities within the architectural context. But what about if the students, they feel like the situation right now is quite depressing and then they want to take a break? How long they should be taking a break and come back to architecture itself?
Okay, macam ni lah. If you want to
Yeah.
take a break,
Yeah.
macam I cakap tadi, macam journey tadi lah. Journey tadi, bila kita nak drive, journey kat highway, kita nak take a break kan. Singgahlah dekat R&R, betul? Kan? Pergi toilet, minum teh sekejap, tengok buah ke, makan apa, whatever kan. Tapi you nak sampai destination you. So it's up to you now. Kalau you nak cepat sampai, then take a break for a while. Tapi kalau you say, I don't bother lah nak sampai bila-bila, you tidurlah kat R&R. That's my analogy to explain to your concern just now, Dayana. It's subject to yourself. Sebab some other candidate, dia nak lepak lama, main game kat rumah, main Instagram, something like that, main TikTok, Tapi apa you dapat?
True.
So, it's very subjective. Up to you guys. I don't know about architect time you. I don't know respond macam mana.
So what about you, Ar.Tan?
I always am a bit surprised when I hear some former student or some students from other universities that they really have not been doing any work for more than 6 months. So, I do understand that it's hard to find job now, but to me, I feel it's not very productive. You just go out there and find, you can create a job on your own. One of the things that I didn't mention is sometimes you are very good in something, but you may not have a ready job that can, say you are very good in doing video. Rather than you doing video for TikTok, you could do, offer services, freelance, video making to firms. So you find and create your own job out there. So those days, probably, I tak tahu lah, maybe kita punya time is different. To me, my parents, to them is taboo. You cannot just stay at home after you graduate. You just have to go out there.
You have to go out there.
If Aki firm tak ada kerja, then you just have to find some work. I think it's for your continuous career development. So
to respond this, okay, this now I explain some analogy about, don't stay on. Kalau tak dapat satu kerja, tiba-tiba lama tak dapat, doesn't mean that you wasting your time. Kalau katakan you kerja tempat lain, contoh, I bagi contoh Dayana. Macam resume yang arkitek Tan BU dah explain, you dah prepare cantik-cantik lah resume you, portfolio you, dah ikut lah apa yang 20 tips saya dapat kan, tapi tak dapat lagi kerja, lepas tu you nak tunggu, cuba lagi, tak dapat. So don't wait, sambil you tunggu, you have to find another path. For example, contoh ada satu student tau, dia nak minta kerja kat I tak bagilah sebab student I kenal tadi kan. So I nak dia explore tempat lain. So dia pergi kerja tak dapat. Then while waiting dia punya resume dipanggil, so dia kerja dengan marketing tau. Marketing yang jual produk dengan supplier tau. Can you imagine supplier tiles macam apa. Dia pergi offer kerja tiles, supply ni semua. Subsequently with this experience, he's good in marketing. And then he's good about tiles punya specification, all this now. And he become expert in the tiles punya ni. And then when he dapat opportunity jumpa satu arkitek yang bila dia present punya produk, arkitek tu fall in love dia punya aspiration. They said he got a thing with the design department dalam satu arkitek firm. So that's why I say, when you have opportunity, no matter what, opportunity tu tak ada berkaitan langsung dengan architecture, sebenarnya ada. Kalau you kerja 7-Eleven pun ada berkaitan. Kerja dengan hospital pun ada dengan berkaitan. Kalau jadi Grab driver, lagi best. You akan jumpa semua orang. Silap bulan, orang yang you bawa tu tiba-tiba
it's your client.
It's your client. You see beautiful journey. Dayana. So
yes.
It's memang happen that I took one of the Grab rides, and the guy actually told me he's an interior design contractor.
Yeah.
And then I said, what you doing driving Grab? And he said, actually, that's how he find his customer.
Yes.
And he specializes on apartment renovation. And he says, sambil, and he talks a lot. And he said he has actually got more work ever since he started driving.
I can tell you the
Wow.
other way around. I can tell you the other way, my experience in Majlis Pembangunan Semangperai. Nak jumpa pengarah planning department. Hari-hari nak jumpa, hari ni nak jumpa, tak jumpa. Tapi because of my experience that I working a lot of angle beyond architecture, when I start to follow up this pengarah perancang, and every morning I came to MPSP, I met this uncle, the gardener. So dapat appointment, tak dapat, turun bawah, I feel so sad, and then I tegur uncle ni. Hi uncle, good morning. Dia pun hi. Assalamualaikum. Come uncle, kita makan roti canai. So kita buat friends. So believe it or not, Biu, I tell you, lepas seminggu ada jumpa, dok greet this uncle, then at last hari yang ketujuh tu dia tanya I. He ask me, so anak ni Adrianta, apa yang hari-hari cik dok main planning ni kata anak jumpa pengarah ni, sekian-sekian orang ni. Okay, besok pagi I datang, I dapat appointment tu, I dapat present. And I was so surprised. After a week, I tried to get the appointment, tak dapat. Hari ni I dapat. So bila I turun bawah daripada bangunan, I meet this uncle. I'm happy lah hari ni I dapat. Come, anak offer you lunch. So sambil makan-makan dia terus tanya, oh, you dapat jumpa dia ni? Tu anak buah anak saya. Can you imagine, rupa-rupanya this is Datuk. Dia bukan gardener. Dia punya hobi je. So it's a client actually, anak client. Can you imagine? It can be other way around, you know. So what explore.
Okay, so if I pull back you guys to our topic, we have one question: how to develop our own brand as a student? Because Architect Adrianta did mention about versatility. Which one should we be focusing on? Is it on our potentials, or is it should be tapping on, like improving our weakness? Because certain firms, they are looking for specific things, you know. So can you share with us about that?
Okay, dia macam ni lah. You know yourself, okay? Even your lecturer will identify you expert on this, because nobody's perfect here. Yeah, but some of you have own expertise, okay? When you have your own expertise, you want to polish up your expertise. But you find out that, oh, there's another angle that I need to polish. So I know, you need to study. Oh, ini prospek dia tinggi ni. Kalau I kena brush up prospek ni, I kena tunjuk, kena belajar. Contoh myself punya experience Zaman kita dulu, Architect Tan Biu, kita dulu zaman yang baru timbul 3D Max, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Masa itulah 3D Max, tak ramai pandai buat 3D Max. So after my part 1, I nak further study in Oxford. So tak boleh duduk diam lah. So I nak cari kerja, I jadi dispatch, I jual bunga, jumpa orang. Lepas tu I nak improve my communication skill. Then I found out, I kena belajar lah 3D Max ni. Pergi ambil course. Sambil buat kerja part time tu, ambil hasil gaji tu, pergi ambil course buat 3D Max. Contoh Then I found out that when I went to UK and when I work in London, rupanya skill yang I buat 3D Max tu, walaupun tak pandai tapi I boleh buat. Dia Mak Saleh kau cakap, wow, you can do 3D Max. Appoint I. Dapatlah kerja dengan Mak Saleh.
So you're saying that we should be ourselves, is it? No matter
what. Yeah, no matter what. I don't know about Architect Tan Biu. What's your response about this?
I just feel students sometimes it's very easy to feel intimidated. Macam they feel very inferior. They say, oh, their classmates are so good in 3D and they are nowhere near. But to me, everyone has their own strength, kan? In fact, each of you students here, you have a very unique strength. Only you yourself should know and would know lah. You would know what you're good at. For example, you're good at speaking. Macam Ani has natural talent in speaking, kan? So some of you may be very shy, but you are good in 3D Max. So you know your strength. So whether you're extrovert, if you're introvert, and I forgot to say that if you're introvert, make sure your portfolio speaks so loud that you don't have to open your mouth pun during interview. Buka aja and the interviewer is speechless. So you win the game lah, because you're so shy to say things, kan? But you make an awesome portfolio, you make an awesome video. fly through here, there, and that's it. Tak ada job vacancy pun you're hired because they felt that you're so good that they wouldn't want to miss a talent like you. So this is what I want to really get everyone realize. If you're not going Lumion fly through, tak apa. Am I right? Maybe you're good in writing. Maybe you have a flair in social media. You have a flair in branding. So then you make it menyelah lah. And then you have to know how to package it when you go to the interview. You can say, I'm not very good in 3D, but I am awesome in doing video, YouTube, I can create a YouTube channel, kan?
Oh, wonderful.
Practitioners yang tak pandai social media tu, imagine you come in, they don't have any budget for a position. If you are so great and kind of like offer them a revolutionary idea, you say you hire me for a lower budget lah. You deliver first. I prove to you, I will increase your popularity ke apa-apa kan.
So do we get extra salary from that?
But that's why I like An's message about the EGO, because actually we all should start going out there with no ego. You may be 4.0 flat, CGPA, Dean Lister every semester, berturut-turut. You should go out there and start humble. And you kena prove to what you can deliver on the table first. Baru then you demand your 8,000 salary, because that will come.
Yes,
but
definitely.
So, if some of us have level, it's hard to avoid that ego feelings. What is your advice in avoiding that as architects, like Adrianta and Tan Biu?
Biu start first. I punya cerita panjang sikit.
You mean how to lower the ego?
Yes.
That's why hopefully our afternoon session here, when all of you are at home, you just know, I'm not saying go out there with no confidence. Have confidence, but be humble. Know that whatever you learn in school, banyak lagi that you need to adjust, banyak lagi that you have to prove when you go out there. And once, my personal belief is, when you are ego, the moment you think you're the best, your mind tu dia macam shut down dah. You will start to always tak nak dengar, not open to new ideas. So even to me, myself, I'm still learning. I just learned how to stream to Facebook. So I'm still learning. So I feel that message, I like An's message very clearly, that it's actually no ego, baru you can be lifelong learner.
It's true. So what about Architect Adrianta's opinion as well on this?
Macam ni lah Diana. Kita ni dialog arkitek lah. Kalau tanya profession lain, I tak tahu.
Yes.
Kalau profession lain, I tak tahu. This is my personal response talking about ego. If you feel weak, do your best to be strong. If you feel scared, do your best to brief yourself. But once you achieve success, be humble. Even my partner, I told Architect Tan Biu when they say, I share a few nights back when I told her that we obtained a huge fees coming to my firm. We always remind ourselves that sit down and told to my partner that, okay, let's have a tea without sugar and then drink without sugar, to remind ourselves that, hey, don't be so ego about it, don't be so egoistic or strong about it. Go down our level, that remember the past, remember the memories, that how hard we are. Because ego, I can tell you, is the enemy. Not for everybody. You don't know where is yourself when you say, oh, I'm a teen student, I got my A every time in my studio, and then I should have the kind of salary. You feel ego. During interview, when the interviewer give a business card, he didn't his business card to feel, oh, so ego. I think that's not a right way. To do that. It's unhealthy. Always be humble, because architecture is about helping society. We serve society. So need to be humble. Nak jadi humble, nak buang ego ni senang je, Diana.
Yeah. How?
Senang je. I experience myself. You duduk dengan orang homeless, you beli makan, you duduk makan dengan dia. I got
It's
an
very
experience today.
enlightening. Yeah.
I duduk makan dengan homeless. When I duduk makan dengan homeless, di tepi jalan ni.
When was it?
Makan
Yeah.
a few years back when we have video shooting, talking about the problem about geladangan in KL. And then I have to kelakon lah jadi homeless. And then we know the problem of homeless. Can you imagine that? Then you learn about how to be humble yourself. I don't know other student how dare you want to do this. You sit down with people with buta, orang pekak, wheelchair, sit down with them. Because when you start to talking about architecture, you need to think serve for people. When you start to design universal design, you don't be like, oh, I want this award. Tapi tak ada universal design. Ask people yang pakai wheelchair. Feel it, how she feel nak pergi toilet, you orang pakai mandi. You know what I mean? So this banyak angle.
Saya nak tambah sikit lah, there's a fine line between being confident and being egoistic. Sebab, I worry that now we are telling our students is be humble, don't show off and all that. And then later on, lost of confidence. So
Yes.
I think be confident, humble, be honest. Okay? Maksudnya, Dayana, for you to understand how to have no ego means you literally, you have to know that there's always someone better than you and you are always learning. You have to change your mindset. With that too, then it will be different. I've heard of candidates who come and ask me for advice. They say upon graduation, I want to get my part 3 in 2 years because that's the minimum required by the logbook, right? And they want me to tell them how I'm going to plan their career, 2 years nak dapat part 3. I don't know how to jawab because, even though if you nail the exam, if you ace the exam, but do you think you have what it takes to really live up to be an AR in 2 years, with 2 years experience? So, Gan, what do you think?
No, I came across because I conducted this part 3 class ni dah.
Yeah, maybe you're a better person to say.
So it's a pro and con. So, baru ni last year I baru tahu one of my candidate bila dia pass and then he declared, kita bagi pep talk lah, dia bagi pep talk. He declared that rupa-rupanya dia 60 years old BU. I was tangga mulut I. 60, umur 60 tahun dapat part 3. And then the way dia duduk dalam kelas tu macam, dia banyak experience. Dia pula. And there is a student yang too eager to have a part 3. And then I advise, it's good, don't worry. The better advice that you can get part 3 in young age, very good. But they will be, dia macam ni lah, umur yang tua, dia dapat part 3 lama, tapi dia ada experience. Tapi yang baru ni, dia dapat AR, dapat part 3, tapi dia tak ada experience. This is a different kind of situation. So yang dapat AR tu, yang ni yang anak advice. Bila dapat AR, tak ada experience, tak tahu nak buka firm, pergi buka firm, ambil bank loan, tiba-tiba nama dah blacklist, rumah dah kena sita, hutang banyak. That's another thing untuk yang candidate yang arkitek yang dapat AR ni. So you learn from this many angles. So doesn't mean that you young cannot get, boleh. Doesn't mean yang tua boleh dapat lambat, boleh dapat. But this thing is very subjective because macam I cakap dalam I punya dialog tadi, it's about your positive mindset, it's about your decision, your passion. You will realize that it's not to say humble tu macam terlalu merendahkan diri sampai orang tengok you pun asyik tunduk, nak lalu depan aunty pun, aunty tumpang lalu, you pun lalu kan. Bukan humble macam tu. Humble dari segi mindset you. So arkitek ni ada dia punya angle lah. This one I cannot advise you through online, I cannot advise you through books. This one kena belajar dari segi experience. Yang tu you kena then you will know what you understand. You can understand.
I see there's a question here that one of our students asked. In view of these days, kita paperless kan, we are going all on handphone, smartphone. So the question is it really necessary to bring a hard copy resume and a cover letter when you go for an interview? So I give my take dulu. So my point is, we are still living our architecture business is essentially a paper business. Am I right? And you know, it's all about producing construction drawing. It's still paper based lah. Nak tak nak, still paper based. Okay, contractors still need hard copy drawings. So my response to is, I think it's always a good impression to come with a well printed, bukan keronyok nasi lemak paper. You know, your resume should be printed on good quality paper. Okay, not something that it has gone to 5-7 firms before coming to see the interview, the HR manager. So it's still good to print. And even the thickness of the paper, those days when I make sure it's super thick, I make sure it's in the envelope, because I don't know, I just felt you have to present it properly. So still should bring hard copy.
I agree with you.
You can accept paperless ke bawa iPad?
No, for me, I'm not sure other architects, other firm, but majority, we still believe that we are an artist. We still believe we are scientists, because that's definition of architecture. Tolonglah, you architect, you lukis pun atas paper. Betul tak? Takkan nak pergi you tak nak tunjuk hard copy. Doesn't make sense. Architect kena buat hard copy. Don't tell me nak jadi architect, student termasuk Dayana pen dalam poket tau. Sentiasa dalam poket. Kalau tidak, you jangan declare kata you architecture student. Serupa dengan resume.
And the tape measure.
Tape measure, exactly.
But tadi just now, Ar.Tan did mention that we should impress the employers, the potential employers. Only if some of the students, they bring like a projector and all that, because it is portable. Is that okay or is that too much?
You too impress. I don't know, you too impressed gila lah.
Okay, I don't mind, you know.
Okay.
In fact, if you have your iPad and you play your videos on your iPad, it shows you are very resourceful.
Dia macam ni, Dayana, dia macam ni. You kalau datang interview dengan ada inisiatif itu, don't you think the firm impress your initiative, itu pun dah menang dah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I actually look for initiative. There is if I do ratings, there is this bottom column that is, I call the X factor.
Exactly.
You know, the special marks. And that special marks is like whatever that happens, and I wow, and then you get that special marks, that special points.
Okay, but this is like, can we get your personal opinions as well on this? Where if, let's say, some of the students manage to impress the employers, and later on the employer wants a student to do more and more on that, to what should it be?
Okay, this one classic.
This overwork, are you saying is overwork?
Yes. Yeah, because of the impression, let's say.
Okay. And then the question is?
The question is, to what extent the student must stay still ataupun hold on with that workload, you know? Because impression, happened before.
Ini very interesting question.
I will pass.
This is a very interesting question, and I'm so happy to hear from Dayana.
Okay, because it happened before. I mean, like, not to say that I'm very good, but because that company didn't have that kind of technology to do that before, and we proposed that, so it happened. So yeah.
Oh, I see. Do you mean like when they found out that you're good at something, and in the end, all that you're doing is that same skill of work?
Yeah, and you also, I mean, like, we also have to do other works, but it keeps on, you know, piling up. So you don't have time to finish it. To what extent the student or we should hold on.
I see. And then sometimes it makes you wish that you regret admitting that you know how to do YouTube upload, things like that. Kan?
I believe some of the students are feeling that. Some with experience.
Jangan melebih. I don't know, Ann, what do you think?
Okay, dia macam ni lah. I tell you, Dayana, even myself, I consider myself an eager young architect masa your age dulu. When I start to impress that, for example, that when I start to impress that I can do certain thing, and then the company asks me to do it again, and you become special. Dia macam ni lah. Coming back to us, if you feel sincerity and honest, you tak akan timbul soal kerja ni lebih tak lebih. Itu je. Just come back to us. Kalau you rasa macam, ish, gaji, dia mula keluar statement apa tau dalam cakap dari diri sendiri. Gaji aku banyak ni ya, tapi kerja macam haram, banyaknya bos ni bagi. Aku kena buat ni, kena buat tu, kena buat ni kan. Tapi itulah, if you not sincere to yourself, then you declare je. Bos, I tell you boss, overloaded bos. I cuma mampu buat ni ya bos. I boleh buat ni. If you ask me to do it, I declare to you that I can do. Jangan cakap tak boleh buat. Nanti begini. I can do, but the affordable that I can do. Jangan salahkan I kalau I tak dapat benda ni because I dah overloaded. You suruh I buat minutes, you kena suruh I buat ni, you buat ni, you suruh buat animation ni. Declare. Sebab macam I dulu, I oblige. I tell you the truth. Pagi kan masuk office, buat paperwork. Tengah hari dah kena pergi site meeting. Petang dah kena susun mood board. Malam adalah masa untuk I buat 3D tau. Dapat feel lah, dapat dengar lagu, feel lah. Esok okop minum kopi, buat 3D layan. Rutin hari-hari tau. Lepas tu bila dapat job best lah. Lepas tu bos pun bagi lagi. Lain kali kata, "Weh bos, I kena declare ni bos. I ada 2 tangan je, tapi bagi banyak job, so I need assistant." Declare. Bos dia tahu. Bos cakap, oh ya ke? You dah overloaded Adrianta? Yes. I need assistant. Dia bagi assistant. Bila ada assistant, you become ada assistant yang tolong you. Nampak tak? You tak boleh kata, bos, dia selalu macam ni tau, Dayana.
Yeah.
Bos, kerja dah banyak ni bos. Gaji lebih. Gaji lebih. Kadang-kadang gaji tu boleh dapat lah. Tapi lama-lama, dia tak ada sincerity lah. The magical of this thing, number one, you're sincere to yourself. If anything happen, be honest, declare. Number two, at last, towards the end, is about your satisfaction. Itu je.
I believe that all students, intention should be when we want to apply certain jobs at certain firms. I mean, like the planning is a must, and not just for your future, but also for right now, because of the situation that we're facing in. We have to be smart. I believe that is what they are saying. And right now, we only have minutes left. So if there's any question, you can also shoot it at us using the WebEx question.
Maybe I just want to add on because what Adrianta spoke about the issue tadi. I remember when I was working in Singapore, I got kind of like well known in the office that I can do I can transform a normal PowerPoint into wow looking PowerPoint. So what happened was initially it was like my own initiative. I said I'm an architecture presenter, has to be look wow. So I revamped one project, and then eventually all the other projects that has nothing to do with me, the presentation files comes to me, and then I'll be asked to, can you make this work? And then from the Singapore office, even to China office, I was asked to help, and I somehow like doing it so much that I could do it so fast. And then word got around, and I remember I was helping Shanghai office, and they will send me files, and then they'll be telling me, and they'll give me raw files, and then I'll be like a magician, and then give me 2 nights, and then I send back an awesome looking file, and they can present. So I think now I understand your question, and at that point, it never struck my mind that I wish I never show my passion, But towards the end, I spent 4 years there, and when I came back, my portfolio, berjela-jela panjang, because I was helping everyone, and I had that exposure of every job because I was like an expert on one task. So if you don't, you look at the big picture, be patient, you will gain in the long run without you seeing it at that point. So I hope students see it openly. Jangan berkira lah. You don't say that I'm only hired to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks, and if you keep asking me to go take photographs and or take video because I have got a big SLR, so I think you gonna balance it lah.
I think the elements yang Architect Tan you mentioned is one of the elements that I told you just now in my dialogue is about you love what you do. When you do love what you do, and then the job is marvelous, awesome, it's become your passion lah.
It doesn't matter lah. It doesn't matter.
It
But
don't
it will
matter.
come back in later part of your life that you will look back and somehow it made you a better person in
Correct.
some ways that you don't expect.
Yeah.
I saw someone ask about Adrianta's TV show. They are very curious about your TV program.
Oh, TV
Can
program
you tell
tu
them, yeah,
is
what
the
channel?
is a Astro channel. I can't remember number dia. You cari Project Laman Urban.
What channel is that? It is under Awani, is it?
Actually, to tell the truth, I pun tak tengok diri I dalam program tu. Malu nak tengok. Cuma orang-orang kata, buka program kau dah start dah. Tengoklah. Aku tak nak tengok. Aku tak ingat. Tapi you can check dalam YouTube lah. Project Laman Urban, you can see that.
There's also a question one of our students asked, where and how do you find a mentor?
Okay, mentor ni macam ni lah.
Abang angkat kan?
Dia macam ni. My mentor was a senior draftsman. When I start to volunteer myself to help him to do scrapping. Masa tu kan internship. Scrap, tracing paper view. And then lama-lama dia ajar I AutoCAD masa tu. So kita tengok dia macam cikgu lah. Then when we spend time with him during discussion buat ni semua, when during minum-minum teh tarik tu, masa sambil-sambil tu dia duduk advice. So lama-lama whatever he advised me, and then I make it my logbook tu. I list down. And sampai I kerja sekarang pun, he's become my mentor because he's the one who mentioned me because dia registered pre-draftsman. Dia tak dapat go beyond. Dah tu dia share dia punya intention, share dekat kita. Jadi dia macam anak angkat lah. So I feel that, I'm so grateful. Sekarang dia dah tak ada dah. Dia dah pass away. And then with apa knowledge yang dia bagi kat I, it's like Sibawi says, I give back to student like today, bagi balik. Apa yang cerita tadi tu semua bukan daripada creation I. It based on my experience dengan mentor. So how to find mentor? You cannot find like simply like that. Oh, I want Dayana become mentor. Dayana pun tak kenal you. Ini adalah sentiment human factors. Dia ada story-nya, cakap what is your story? Inilah storyline yang you kena cari. You tak boleh cari macam tu je.
Is it goes back to our own value that we are trying to find?
Yes, exactly. It goes back to your own values. It goes back to your expedition in your life. You're gonna meet a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, and there was one time I was a bit surprised. I had a request. You know, someone wrote to me, a young architect, and asked, "Can you be my mentor?" And our time, we never go around and appoint somebody as our mentor. And the idea is you keep your mindset open. Whoever you work with, your bosses, in fact, your peers. Anybody that you meet, you know, can be your mentor. So it's not like you really want to appoint one and he becomes an informal mentor. I don't think it works in such a formal setting, right? So mentor can be your friend, can be someone, your former lecturer that you always go back and talk to, can be someone who can relate to your problem. So it can be anyone.
It can be anyone, and it can be not only one.
I had many mentors, from 80-year-old to 90-year-old, young 40. Adrianta also my mentor.
You know lah, kita good friends. You also my mentor. Is it dah mentor-mentee lah sekarang?
Praising each other, is it?
Cuma Dayana, if I take opportunity a few minutes.
Dayana nak habis session ni.
Just a few minutes. Kalau tidak, I tak boleh tidur malam. At least I share to USM student kat sini. Because this is about beyond. Somehow or other, I'm not sure you can follow me or not, but it's up to you because I'm going to tell you this my experience so that maybe some of you can follow this, up to you. But I believe some other students from other university follow it. When I give it an idea, they follow it, and then now they are secure. Okay, just last word from before we end up. It's about volunteerism. This is how to demarcate the egoistic dengan humbleness. Okay, the humbleness. Myself, I tell you the truth. Masa I recession, memang dapat. So I go knock every firm to say to them that can I just come here and work volunteerism? You don't need to pay me. I offer. You need to pay me. So the firm said, oh, are you sure? No. Ada. Tapi ada yang macam, are you sure you want to, the London punya firm ada yang accept the volunteerism tau you. So I just happy to volunteer them. So when volunteerism, it will begin giving you a platform, giving you an opportunity. Can you imagine that? When I advise it, I don't want to mention this university punya student. When they listen to my storyline, this group of the student, they every semester break, dia kejap break, lepas tu dia volunteer diri dia pergi many firm to volunteer to help the firm. Dia jadi designer, dia jadi scrap buat reports, dia volunteer dalam sebulan gitu, berapa minggu je dia volunteer. Sekejap lagi dia datang. Lama-lama this office will acknowledge this person first by volunteerism and automatically dia dapat job.
Yeah, I think that's a very brilliant strategy. You start from year one. You start from year one, yeah.
So to all those USM students, it's up to you. For me, my topic is beyond architecture. What's next? I know, selalu cakap negatively, oh susah. This is one best strategy. When you begin your sincerity, when you start to volunteerism. You go every firm, tak apa bos, I datang dapat nak belajar, tengok kerja kat office ni, tak bagi gaji ke? I tell you, you ingat ada orang yang kejam ke tak bagi? At least korang-korang ada bagi token.
True.
Yeah, correct. Because you got that opportunity first, masuk office dulu, and then you impress. When you volunteer, there's zero expectation, and then when you start off with 8,000 salary, expectation dah tinggi kan. So then you die because you ask for it. So
yeah.
So there's another question. Someone asked, is it suitable for architects to work from home in these times of post-COVID, post-MCO era?
Right. Okay. This is a good question because the effect of pandemic masa quarantine, for me personally realized that it's very efficient when my staff start working from home, and then we start to realize, overhead can be reduced, and then the time for people to work from home is suitable and so on. But firstly, masa first second week tu memang cram lah, tapi lama-lama it looks very efficient. It's like now we start talking about when you work from home because of this pandemic, you choose the day to come to office, like Monday, Wednesday, or maybe Friday half day. Cukup, yang lain buat kerja kat rumah. You know what I mean? So for me, if you ask me personally, this is a new normal. It looks like very efficient. Even our meeting pun sekarang dengan klien tak pergi office dah, pergi dalam Zoom meeting je. So this is new normal and truly efficient, but somehow or other you have to be smart to accept these conditions. We need to go outdoor as well, because go site pun dia kena pergi juga. But this is the new normal. For me, it's a new normal.
Yeah.
Working from home now.
I think work from home, a lot of advantages. It saves commuting time, environmentally better. But architecture is about, the environment, our response to site, and understanding human nature. So nak tak nak, either we like it or not, in the long run, of course you can work from home, but do go out there to enjoy, experience life,
Yeah.
Because if you can't understand the whole psyche of how people use the park, how do you design a park, when it comes to. So to me, there's advantages. There's a bit of a disadvantages if you choose to work from home. So if you get to have that privilege, just get a balance outdoor time.
Yeah.
Okay, Dayana.
Okay.
So I think we got quite a good area of topics covered.
Very well. Very well.
Okay, so to all students and participants, I hope that you are enjoying of the things that we have been discussing about. Please stay positive. Please be excited as well of your future, because you never know. One of the bosses, you might be one of the leaders, and please be inspired wherever you go, because you never know that some people might be our mentors, just like Architect Adrianta mentioned before. So thank you to Architect Adrianta. He is one of the star architects that we should be looking at too, as well as our Ar.Tan BU. Thank you for your amazing, initiative in connecting all the students with the architect. This is such a good platform for us to connect and to learn. So with this, Thank you so much and bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Diana.
Adrianta.
Thank
Okay,
you, Architect
okay.
Tanbiyu. Have a
Thank you, Dana.
wonderful
Thank
day.
you, everyone who was here.
All right, thank you.
Be well.
Okay, let's keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch. See you.
Okay,
Bye.
Okay,
bye-bye.
bye.